Hi, welcome to the Forest of Arden. My name is Chris Ryan. We're out on the golf course, and in this video we're talking a little bit more about how you actually change your golf swing as opposed to what you might want to change. So I've done plenty of videos over the past years or the recent years on what you might want to change. So looking at different aspects of the golf swing and maybe looking at some faults that you might have. But today's video is really looking at how you start to implement those changes into your golf swing and looking at maybe why certainly some of the golfers that I see at the academy don't always make the changes that they would like to. So we're going to talk a little bit about what you might want to do, when you go to the practice area, when you go to the driving range, and the process that you might want to take to start to make those changes happen. So we're going to talk about three things in this video. We're going to talk about the golf ball, the golf club, and the speed at which you swing. Now, those three things, the golf ball, the club, and the speed at which you swing, are unfortunately what makes golf difficult. You take those three things away, you take away the club, you take away the ball, you take away the swing, the speed, my golf swing looks fantastic. If I put the club down there, I've got no ball, no club, I can basically make the golf swing that I want to make. It looks fantastic. Put the club back in my hands, get me to hit a shot, and I revert to the things that I do naturally. So what we have to do in practice is we have to start to remove some of the things that make golf difficult. So we have to remove the golf club, we have to remove the ball, or we have to remove the speed, or we have to have maybe a combination of those three. So let's, for example, take a golfer who's looking at maybe trying to change how they rotate into their backswing. What we would typically see would be that golfer might clearly understand what they're trying to do. But as soon as they put the golf club in and hit a shot, we see the same movement we've always seen. So if we took away the golf club, if we took away the golf ball, and we took away all the speed, we would tend to see that golfer would have a much, much better chance of moving into the positions that we would like them to move into. They've got a little bit more time, there's no golf ball they're trying to hit, they're more likely to make those different movements. Now, as you can imagine, at some point, obviously, we need to start introducing the other parts. So, for example, that second stage might be to introduce the golf club, but we're still taking away the golf ball, and we're still taking away the speed. So that golfer might want to make some rehearsals with very, very low speed with no golf ball. So I'm now introducing the club, but I'm still making this change much, much simpler. We may then wish to introduce the golf ball, but take away the speed. So if I was to maybe look at what I'm doing in my backswing, and I'll use me as example here, I'm always working on my takeaway, this first move and how I move the club into the second part of the swing. So what I might try and do in practice is really remove the speed from my golf swing. So I might hit shots initially like this, where I'm really focusing on the movement of the club, but I'm not worrying about the speed at which I do that and in turn the distance in which the ball goes. I'm not going to hit that one because he's in the way, we'll just wait for him to move. So that might look a little bit like this. So you can see I've had the golf ball there, I've had the club, but I've taken away the speed. And what we've got to try and do is start to add those things back in over a period of time until we feel a little bit more comfortable. All too often I see golfers trying to make swings at full speed with the golf club, with the ball, trying to think about what they're doing. That's great, but the reality of that is we don't often see the golfer moving in the way that they wish to move. So I really want you to think about when you practice next, what are you trying to change? Is it difficult? The chances are it will be difficult. Golf swings are difficult to change. So you have to remove the golf club, or you have to remove the speed, or you have to remove the ball. If we can start to do those things, makes it a little bit easier for you to get your head around what you're trying to do, gives you a bit more time to think about what you're trying to change, and then we can start to add those things in gradually over time. For me, there's two ways of reducing speed. We do it the way we just did, where I make a really slow swing, or we reduce speed by making the golf swing just take longer. So I'm not going to reduce club head speed, but I'm going to make my golf swing take longer. I'm going to do that with a pause at the top. So for me, that might look a little bit more like this. So for me, that felt a lot easier because I took speed away from the whole swing. I made my backswing and paused. I then hit the ball. That enabled me to think a little bit more about my backswing, focus more on my backswing. I then had time to, regather my thoughts, if you like, think about the golf ball and make a downswing. So I really want this video to be, something that maybe makes you think a little bit more about what you're doing in practice. This isn't a video saying this is what you need to change, this is how you're going to get better. It's more a case of saying, right, once you know what you're trying to change, these are some of the things that you might want to do to help those changes take place, and ultimately you can take that through to the golf course. Don't get me wrong, making swing changes is difficult. It's difficult for everyone. It's difficult for me. It's probably difficult for you. It's difficult for the people you see playing on the World Golf Tours. But if we can start to look at some of the techniques which might help, I think you're going to make those changes a little bit more accurately and hopefully a little bit quicker. So take away the ball, take away the club, take away the speed. One of those, two of those, or maybe three of those is definitely going to help you move your golf swing to a place where it's going to hopefully give you some better results out on the golf course. Thanks for watching. Usual stuff is down below, like button, comments box, and also a link to subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and click that link. It makes a massive difference to my channel, and it just means you'll get a notification each time I upload a video, and hopefully you won't miss any new content. Hopefully just going to help you play some better golf. Thanks for watching, and we shall see you again soon.